Alright everybody, I'm back by the sink in our brew space in the back of the store, and we're going to get our Grainfather GC2 set up for the very first time. So we're going to walk through doing the priming, filling the reservoir, hooking it up to our GC fermenter, the Grainfather Pro fermenter. I don't have the connection to the GCA adapter kit, so we're just going to be doing with the fermenter itself, but a lot of the stuff is pretty much the same thing, especially all of the setup on this end of it. One of the very first things you have to do is fill some water in here. If you were following along in the first video, you might have remembered that this has a pretty small tank. It only takes 2 liters total of water. We're going to do that first. So we're going to use the Grainfather funnel. It has a little filter down here at the base of it. Plop that guy right in there. And then I've got some filtered water. 2 liters. The very first thing is 2 liters of cold filtered water. Now, important, when we add this, we're just adding water, and then we have to wait 5 minutes before we do anything else, okay? That screen is great, but you gotta go a little bit slower if it wants to splash on you. So I'm gonna pull out my phone, and we're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes, and I'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes are up. Wouldn't pour a beer during the meantime. Perfect time to get a beer. So this is actually, I'm drinking a dry Irish stout we brewed here a few weeks ago using the malting company of Ireland stout malt, along with Simpson's roasted barley, flake barley, Fuggles and East Kent. It came out fantastic. If you haven't tried any of the malting company of Ireland's grains, awesome grains. We've got pale ale, stout malt, and we get distiller's malt as well, but we've got them here in the grain room. Good stuff. Cheers everybody. Okay, back to the task at hand. We let that water chill for 5 minutes. Now I've got my big jug of propylene glycol. I'm going to weigh out 1 liter. And we're not going to do anything with it for right now, but we'll have it waiting for us. So propylene glycol is what makes the glycol chiller function effectively. Because what this stuff is doing is it's allowing the water to reach a much lower temperature without freezing than it would to all on its own. And then that super chilled water and then, or super chilled solution now, is going to pass through the outside jacket on this conical, and it's going to take the heat away from the active fermentation. And so the cool glycol goes into the lower side of this port, comes out the top side, returns back to the unit a little bit warmer than it was before, and then it gets chilled out again, and it keeps on just pumping through as long as it needs to bring this fermenter to whatever temperature you set it for. If it's too cold, that's where the little heater guy will kick in, and it will bump it up to whatever temperature you need it to be, and then the pump won't work while the heater's running because that'd be 2 things going at each other. I got this measured out, and now the priming part. So this part is a little bit trickier. They give us a short little piece of hose. You're going to connect it to hookup number 1. The number is right up here on your blue side. So I'm gonna go right up in here, and then up and into your tank, just like that. Okay, make sure this guy is nice and tight before you do any liquid going in here. So now that's in here, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to plug in the power. Now we're going to turn it on. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn the pump on, and we're going to go into override mode, turn the pump on and have some liquid start moving to get that pump priming, or the liquid primed through there. So to go into override mode, once it's on, you hold the up arrow for approximately 3 seconds. The set button all the way on the right here is flashing. I'm not sure if you heard that, but it actually just turned off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to press number 1, because number 1 is the channel that we're hooked up to. And it's moving. That's good. So liquid's moving. It's actually going pretty fast. And now at this point, we need to run this guy for 2 minutes. So another little waiting period. What's happening at this point is that the water is moving through the system, and we're trying to fill the whole system with liquid and then also push out some of the air bubbles. So we're gonna run this guy for 2 minutes, and then I'll see you back and we're gonna do the next step. Okay guys, that's our 2-minute timer. Never changed the set timer on my Android phone. So now, we are going to do 2 things at once. They want you to do kind of a couple of these little small cycles. So we're going to turn the pump off by pressing the number 1 button. Boop, pump's off. We're also going to start a 1-minute timer. That's because I want to wait at least 1 minute before I run the pump again. But now, I'm just going to tuck this hose back behind the handle so it's up, not leaking. I'm going to add this 1 liter of our propylene glycol. Put the funnel back in there. Now make sure to go slowly. The propylene glycol is a lot thicker than water, so this Could definitely overflow and make a mess if you were trying to make this go a little faster. Just be patient. You'll end up waiting that 1 minute anyway, just in adding this to your tank. It's the 1 minute timer. But I still got some more glycol to throw in here. So far, my only feedback would be this funnel could be like 3 times bigger. That's my only feedback so far. That took me a couple of minutes to get through, but you only have to do this once. Well, once every 6 months. Added the 1 liter propylene glycol. Our funnel out, my hose back in there, and now we're going to run it for another 2 minutes and another 1 minute off cycle. So I'm going to press the 1 button again and the pump will get going. And I'll see you guys back here in 2 minutes. There it goes. Okay, I've been running the pump for 2 minutes. Not seeing as much air bubbles anymore. We're going to turn it off by pressing number 1. We're going to press the power button. So back here, we're going to remove this guy. I think I'm going to get a little bit of a leakage. Cup. Just what was in the hose. So that's our priming hose. Got our glycol solution. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook this guy up to our conical, and then because we're going to hook up to the conical, we also have to top it off. Put that cap on there, time being. Put this in the back a little bit, just so I have a little bit more working space. Kind of move the power cord a little bit out of the way. So I mentioned earlier on this conical that the low point is going to be your glycol going in. The high point is going to be your glycol coming out. That is the power connector. That's going to go from here to here. Make sure you match up the channel to whatever one you're using it. But first, in this video, we're just going to be hooking up the glycol, getting the glycol into the chiller, and then topping this back off so that the maximum amount's in the reservoir, good amount's in here. Earlier, I put in these 2 little white O-rings. They have to go in here, sitting flat. So I turned it on its side, so the O-ring went straight down. And then we've got the 2 little quick connects, and then I put a little Teflon tape, make sure they're nice and snug. And from the connection kit, you have 2 pieces of insulated hose, and they color-coded the hoses just to make your life a little bit easier. This one's the blue, so let's do blue first. Now remember, blue is going to go on your low side, so you pull up on that ring, slide it on, and then I'm going to push this all the way flush to the edge there. And now my blue guy is going to go right here on the top side with the blue cap on your number 1. Easy as that. Do the same thing with our return line. It snaps in like that. It's slick, it feels nice. Slide this insulated hose all the way over the end there. The red guy is going to go here. We'll go red to red. I just want to make sure I don't cross the hoses here. I was thinking about clamping these, but this is a really snug connection with these hoses. Long term might not be a bad idea, but right now I'm going to leave those unclamped just in case I need to move anything around. That is all set, and basically we're ready to pump fluid into here, and so I'm going to use the same override function. Let's turn this guy on. Alright, I think we're all good here. We're also going to be checking for leaks. Pull that out off, actually. I know I said I'm going to slide it forward, but I'm going to pull this aside right here. So glycol is going to be moving in here for the first time. The unit is off. I'm just using that pump function. And we're going to check for leaks. So let's go. Definitely hearing some bubbling, hearing some air moving around. I think we're good first time through. Isn't that wonderful? Don't see any leaks, any issues with the connection points. So I'm gonna let this run about 30 seconds in total. I'm not hearing, there was a lot of air that kind of came out. So let's turn that off. We're gonna open up that port and we're gonna do a top off. So when you're topping off a GC2, 600 milliliters of total solution, meaning 400 water and 200 glycol. 200, 200, and 200. So same thing as before. Mix this up. Then we're going to use our funnel. This goes a lot faster than just glycol by itself. Right. Put that down, funnel out. Replace the cap, turn the power off, and at this point, you want to wait 5 extra minutes to allow any air bubbles that are in the fluid we just put in there to rise up and to allow it to get out before you go ahead and turn this unit on. But at this point, all I need to do is hook up that. Let's do it. Got this one cable here. Take the little twisty guy off. It's a very sturdy connection cable. This is not just a regular old barrel plug. I'm sure it has great strain relief. Okay, top section here. Same thing. Make sure you're hooking up to the same port your lines are coming from. Let's see. Turn this guy around. That's the part where all these hoses are a little in the way now. Okay. So, cool. And they do recommend you wait. See, that's why I didn't clamp that. I should probably move one of these. They do recommend you wait. Oh, you know what? I can do that because it's non-pass-through. These are non-pass-through, so you can pull them off and the liquid does not come out. Wonderful. Love that. Okay. Back up. Connected. Now these are loose. We are going to wait 5 minutes before we actually turn this whole unit on, and then the compressor will start running, and we can start working with this and actually start turning it on, affecting our temperature. But we are all set to go. This is 100% ready to be used. I'm going to be using it tomorrow morning to brew a batch of beer for the Big Brew Day, and I'm really excited to use it. I'm going to turn on the chiller and have it ready to go for tomorrow, so whenever I pitch my yeast, it's going to hold it at a perfect 68 Fahrenheit for as long as it needs to be. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video, kind of giving a review, talking a little bit more about how I like this after trying it and actually after using it, and then yeah, give a little follow-up feedback. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.